one of the better mechanical mid laners that we do have in LCK. And if there's a guy that I think has improved his mechanics and fingers enough, it is Smeb. And I'm sure that he will have a fun time up in the top lane, up against that Gnar.
Kind of your worry here is that the role for Trick is pretty difficult. There is CC in top lane situationally. Mid lane, I think, is going to be tricky to gank, of course, with Rai still having the stopwatch escape. So actually capitalizing this lane, it's not, say, instant CC and the Kha'Zix burst. It's more situational lanes for the Kha'Zix to overpower, whereas mid lane, very reliable gank path. Smeb is going to have crazy at low health for the majority of the laning phase, and bot lane is going to be pretty non-interactive for both sides if KT have their way. So I like the draft from KT Rolster. It's all about the Jace. If the Jace gets ahead, we know how it goes. KT Rolster going to want to do their best impersonation of Kingzone Dragon X with a comp like this.
I like the amount of poke they have on this composition as well. Even the Rise Qs are very nice, and you can get an engage going from essentially anywhere on the map with the Ornn ultimate. It really just offers you a way to get into that back line and dive anyone you want while having depth completely covered by everyone else that's going to be up in the front. So, do like the composition as well.
Does confirm my suspicion that KT and most teams in Korea do value the Rise over the Azir. Good laning matchup, but ability to play side lanes is what we always talk about with Rise, when then over the side of BBQ, much more balanced draft. Certainly not a draft like their last draft against Rox Tigers, where you held your hands up and said, well, maybe you lost at draft. Very standard draft, but drafting standard against KT Rolster is a bit of a risk, especially as they come off the confidence of taking down SKT in the Telecom War.
Definitely going to be a hard matchup for BBQ going into this one, but let's see what they can do jumping into game number 1 of KT Rolster versus the BBQ Olivers. Match 16, rather. Not that far in the season yet, but we're getting there. Almost 2 weeks done here at the LCK.
Halfway through week number 2, you have 2 more match days. People were asking about today's match day. Originally, this would have been a Sunday match day in the first week, but got other use to this stadium, from what I understand. So it was rebooked for today. That's why we get the 6 days the dream of LCK. Level 1, no Brahms, so everyone can be a little bit more frisky with their invades for vision.
No Braum. Feels weird to say that. It's been a while.
Only the Banhammer can hold him back.
I feel like we just see him in every game.
Very defensive start for BBQ, just guaranteeing the red. The fact that he doesn't see Gnar in lane allows KT to just relay to score that it is a top red side start for the jungler, unless it was a fake leash coming through from Crazy. Looking at the history and even in game score, it's been very one-sided between these two.
Yeah, usually 2-0s. I mean, BBQ was one of the teams in spring last year that would just barely not go into relegation. And I think they actually did one time. Maybe it was spring. But either way, we have an engage already. Flash Ignite level 1. Ignar not wasting any time. Does get him low, but he's got some sustain.
And you definitely can't criticize Defra's position that it was a level 1. There was no level 2 power spike. The level 1 Taunt Flash Ignite power spike was what was put out by Ignar. And when it comes to that history, Valdez, I guess what we should tell the viewers is, if you're BBQ, you say, well, we've made some big acquisitions, bringing back 2 players from Europe. And now they're saying that maybe the history doesn't count anymore. Maybe it really is a new dawn for BBQ. They don't have a 2-0 match score to fully justify that, but we certainly have higher expectations for them in the 2018 season than we did in 2017 when they were one of those perennial relegation fodder teams.
Yeah, and you were talking about those guys who came back from EU. Well, Ignar is one of them. And,
he might just be dead.
Just as I was talking about him, the flash forward, that auto gets a second one. Mata over the head of Ghost. Just bops him on the head. I don't know what that was, but that's a bit of a mistake that you don't see in the bottom lane.
Either he was greeting for a demolish proc or it was a misclick. It's hard to tell which one it was from Ignar because he's a long veteran competitive player. Very strange to see. Ghost has his flash up.
He's going to flash first, try to bait the flash. Oh, he gets the flash, but he misses the flag and drag as Ghost does get far enough underneath the turret.
I mean, Ignar is a veteran at this point. He's not old, but he has been around the competitive scene since 2015. So for him to make such an obvious mistake when he had already drawn Flash and Ignite out from himself and the flash from Deft was almost incomprehensible. Was against the heal from Deft as well, so hopefully we get a replay to see if it was a misclick or if it was greeting for the Demolish proc. Either way, that's they spent everything level 1 to get the level 2 advantage. They used Flash and Ignite, traded it for the Ezreal, allows Trick to come for a gank, but it also guaranteed them level 2 and lane control, but then they just give it all up from a single mistake by Ignar.
Doesn't really make sense, you know, when you put it that way. Would have to imagine it was a mistake. I don't think you're going to try to go for that level 2 Demolish proc. That's like really min-maxing, and would not like to see that, but who knows if we'll get a replay. That's really the big question here.
So far, we've seen in the mid lane, the Rise that we did not see much of in Series 1 to see it in Game 1. We're going to see a replay. Thanks, Spoo TV. So let's see. Demolish, 3, 4, 5, 6. He greeted for a Demolish proc and died. That's just awful from Ignar.
Yeah.
Really, really unnecessary. You don't have any extra health. The Demolish proc's not going to be 200 HP at level 2. Bizarre, bizarre stuff. Just too greedy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's definitely one thing you always talk about going back and watching the VOD review. That's one thing where you're like, never do that again, ever again. That's
a very easy coach point of no, never again, no.
Slap on the wrist, like.
No explanation.
Not even one thought ever again.
You never need to explain that one. Very, very straightforward. So unfortunate for Ignar, who had a really good start in his first series. Some sick outplays and some great roaming on the Alistair, but there's too much greed there. He does have Unsealed Spellbook, so his flash is going to be up a lot before Deft, so that's another thing. If you just play the standard laning phase, this is the part where you're like, my flash is up. I know his is still 40 seconds off cooldown. It is Ezreal, but that would have been another window of power. Right now, things are just that much different after the kind of rush of blood to the head by Ignar.
Yeah. At least the kill did go over to Mata and not Deft, so in terms of taking away a little bit of the scaling from the Ezreal, that can be pretty ridiculous if he does scale very fast. At least the gold did go over to Mata. So we'll see if they do want to do any play like that. He's got his Ignite as well.
While Smeb and Crazy were pretty equal early in the game, after junglers were accounted for, Crazy's been denied 2 to 3 waves here. He's gone for a big grouped minion wave pushing to him, but they're trying to punish him and turret dive as the minion comes. Good start here.
Okay, the flash forward into that rune prison. Feels like it lasts a lifetime, and this time it will. 2 seconds. That's enough to take down Crazy in the top lane.
And that is a huge punish. Look at the minion wave he's losing. He just teleported to top side. I love the roam timing from KT. That's the confidence of winning the telecom war being reflected. Everyone's communication through that new shot caller in Smeb, and an insanely large punish. Look at the CS difference. He's losing another minion wave to top side. He just lost the best part of 3 to 3.5 minion waves for free.
It's real ugly, and even the red buff goes to Smeb on the Jace to add insult to injury. They put a control ward at the red. Trick tries to go in there, but he doesn't have a smite available, so he can't even steal the red back. So wasted time for Trick. Got invaded at his Raptors right after that kill happened. And already a nice little lead here for KT.
The Azir pick in mid lane is kind of count against them again. Obviously the only lane that nothing bad has happened for BBQ, but the reason why I say that is that, what did we say? We said, well, probably not going to be able to gank for the Gnar. It's a tough lane matchup. He would have loved to be on the Malzahar and be a reliable lane for the Kha'Zix to enter. Now it's just Azir wave clearing, so Kha'Zix can't really enter his topside jungle. Might just be killed by Jace and Jarvan roaming down. We're going to see the replay. The timing here is the story. Crazy's been desperate for the minions for the longest time, trying to play respectful, but then you punish the respect with a beautifully timed turret dive. Great EQ from Smeb as well. And now he has red buff, and Crazy's day is ruined.
Crazy, all he can do now is try to farm with Boomerang. Like,
which pushes the wave.
Yeah, I mean, he can't even get close. Like, Smeb has all the control in the world up there.
Sadly, this rune, good against Jin Air, not good against KT Rolster with a start like this, the Gathering Storm.
Yeah. I like the idea, but maybe not in this game.
It's not over, but 1,700 gold lead and the Gnar insanely far behind.
Yeah,
is
it feels
a big
like
problem.
Feels like one of those solo queue games where your top laner goes like 0-3 really early on, and it's like, well, he's not going to be a factor until like 40 minutes into this game.
We're in pro play though, so he won't run it down. He'll do his absolute best.
True. No running down anymore, not in League of Legends.
But the Jace will make him accountable. Trick either has to cover a Gnar who can't all in against the Jace or give up his topside jungle, and he would love a red buff, but going to be denied one of those for a while.
They're looking for a play towards Trick, it looks like. Rune Prison, or Realm Orb coming on in, looking for a potential Rune Prison, but will not happen as Trick is already evolved on his ultimate.
Trick's jungle going to be, at best, in tatters. At worst, all his red buffs for the entire game will be gone, depending on how fast and loose KT want to play around this Jace.
Also, a really nice Drake for KT. That extra damage with the Infernal Drake to start with total map control. The only thing is that a lot of their control is up towards the red side jungle. I'm sure they'll eventually take control of that Drake.
Mata can do a lot of help in pushing bot side, and the on-hit Varus is not a Q-max Varus, so you won't be able to necessarily push the waves as fast as basically any other Varus build. They're going to be fine. I think all objectives for the foreseeable future are KTs to start, and probably KTs to claim.
Pawn getting aggressive in the lane now.
I mean, they can see Trick on, vision in the red side jungle, so he has absolutely no cares in the world to push up and take trades.
Yeah. Also, Pawn with the Negatron Cloak, he's already finished a lot.
They're turret diving again.
Yeah. He has so much MR that in the lane, like, the poking doesn't even do anything against him. Here comes that turret dive. What is he going to do this time? There's even a TP coming in from Mata, because why not? Coming up into the top side. Ignar heals in as well as Tempt. They might just be dead. They've come into their deaths. What are they going to do? Here comes Trick, though, trying to trade back a kill onto the Jarvan. Gets one. Pawn getting low now. Perhaps I spoke a little bit too soon. Ignar going to get one. Smeb getting low, too. It's really the Mata show now, 1v2, but it looks like maybe he's gone a little bit too far. Got a stopwatch on the Ignar, forces that flash away, and okay. That went a little bit better for BBQ than I expected.
Well, this is the meta we live in, where 400 people teleport topside because it's teleports and roams. Everyone took a visit except Deft and Ghost, who'll kind of wonder what was happening in the topside. They get the turret, which is what they went for, but it's more bloody than it needed to be for KT. That was perhaps bravado being false bravado for a moment, even if it still cements a 3,000 gold lead.
Would have to agree. Look at what happens in the bottom lane when there's no support. Deft already off to a really good start in this lane with the assist.
It feels like with Ezreal, for the one time we can be like, look at the item difference, a Mana Moon and Sheen against just a couple of daggers and also a pickaxe. But let's talk about top side, as Crazy got the Shen ult and thought he'd be fine, but everyone was coming for a top lane party. Crazy wasn't invited. As this went on though, Pawn is turret diving, and Trick, who you would think would have been chased out of the top side, is there. And between the two, they are able to mop this up a little bit. Doesn't end up being super positive for BBQ because they still lose the turret. Ignar actually taunting someone to death is hilarious. But it kept going on. Mata didn't die. And KT still got the objective they came for. The visual bug there is funny too.
I was wondering what happened there. Like, how did he just... Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's a pickaxe and 2 daggers against a lot of items on the side of Deft. So that's no fun for Ghost.
Including the amount of poke you can do when there's no threat of any taunts, of any ultimate combo from the Varus.
Isn't it great when Jace is in the meta?
It is.
The games just have so
really
much
fast.
action.
I feel like Spo TV is just like all these teams, they've banded together and they're like, hey guys, it's Papa's birthday, it's Pawn's birthday, let's get everybody home on time and let's have some time to celebrate. Let's play these really fast compositions and make them work.
Beautiful. Can't ask for anything more. And I even had some BBQ chicken. So
yes.
Getting everything here is a lot of damage done by Tempt. Off screen mostly. We kind of watched only when Pawn has walked up and done a bit of damage. Bit of a one-sided narrative there for the birthday boy. Another invade by Skull. As I said, every objective KT wants, BBQ is probably going to be second to.
The ultimate comes through.
Doesn't actually steal it away.
was on point, at least to hit the blue buff.
Nice item timing from Azir on the Nashor's too. Ghost just wants to stay extended in laning phase. May actually have enough gold for the Rage Blade, but not 100% clear on that.
He was thinking about backing, but a pretty severe push down in the bottom lane. Like, look at how low that turret is already getting.
Q's are already doing 300 damage or so to him as well.
Def doesn't miss. He's on point. Maybe after defeating SKT, he's like, okay, I'm back in full form.
Kha'Zix is here.
Yeah.
Not spotted until now.
The flash into the ultimate. Here comes that Ornn, though.
Amado was stunned and snared. He wasn't actually able to use the second part of the ult.
Yeah, we got Ignar coming in as well. That's going to be the kill onto Deft. Right as I'm praising him. Maybe a little bit too far forward. Nice gank there by BBQ, though.
And so important that Mata wasn't able to use the second part of the core. The Forage Guard would have probably used it to disengage the two people rushing on to kill Deft, who dies with both his summoners up. Summoners wouldn't have got him away. He would have died anyway, but guarantee there by the interrupt on the ultimate. And Trick just helping them push in the wave. We'll see the replay. The accuracy baited him. This is where being a good player actually baited him to keep sticking around. And Mata's like, yep, let's kill him. Got the ultimate. Didn't know he was in a ward. Mata building up items. Watch the ult here. The second part, the Chain of Corruption, actually stops Mata from being able to use it as far as we can tell. From there, Deft can't do anything. The rest walk away. Awkward stuff for KT Rolster, but well pounced on by BBQ.
You can't pong it back if you can't move. So Score, after securing the Infernal Drake, says, well, this is my job as a jungler. I dive if I can, and then I'm going to take some objectives. Smeb even coming on over after pushing the top lane. A pretty free objective, as you were talking about, for KT Rolster, trying to snowball their lead.
If you guys are wondering about the build, the Jace build we've seen every time we've seen the counter matchup of Jace into Gnar is to play the Ruin King into the Black Cleaver just to try to annihilate the Gnar. Play the Ruin King, situationally useful for the slow, but also the HP damage when he's in the Mega Gnar form. So while it's not a poke build, he's not looking to poke, he's just looking to try to kill the enemy top laner.
They're looking for attempts to get baited by Pawn here. But here comes Trick. Might be a forced 1v2.
Scott tried to do the shortest ever EQ to actually stun him up, but still missed it.
He like put the flag on top of himself.
That was really funny.
Yeah. Oh, Rift Herald comes in.
Not going to kill it outright.
No. We'll see if they go in together. 3-on-2 right now. You got Ornn and... Oh, boy! Semt losing more than half his health to one Shock Blast. And at the same time, the bottom turret goes down.
Nowhere for the Varus to stand. He couldn't come over. He couldn't do anything. The ult from Ignar is still on cooldown. It gets a second charge, but obviously not going to be a massive one. KT Rolster. So much standing gold, and they want Ghost as well.
And they're going to have him eating up their BBQ chicken very deliciously tonight. Okay. Crazy's fighting back. He's got Trick with him, but the TP is coming in. Do they have enough damage, though? Boomerang is going to do it, and the TP is canceled, saying, you're dead, buddy. We're going to go for bot turret anyway.
Pawn is pushing in. He's feeling really good today on his birthday. Feels birthday man working for Pawn and for KT Rolster. It took the time of Trick as basically every part of their structures outside the base were being taken down as they chased down the kill. 2 out of 5 for both junglers, but Score just needs to help tank a turret. That's really all he has to do. The damage is there from his laners, that's for certain.
4 turrets to 0 right now. No other objectives to take at the moment. So we'll see what KT wants to do in the interim. Will they just farm up, try to deny as many camps as possible in the enemy jungle? We're going to take another look at Ghost, who doesn't have his flash, gets hit by the brittle proc as well. And even though Mata misses his charge, actually charges into the turret, it does not matter.
One of the reasons that Ornn's support is so strong is that the ultimate is an insane ability because of the range you can cast it from. Also the cooldown, but that'll be adjusted in the future. And then in the late game, you're like, hey, we got a guy who's pretty tanky who can initiate, and we got the Ornn items as well. So even from the support role, if you ban away a lot of other high presence support, or the Braum, who's probably a higher tier support than most of the other ones, why not Braum? Why not Ornn and his ability also to be a flex pick? So Very, very clean stuff from KT, and they got the Jace into Gnar because there wasn't the double ban by BBQ to cover. It was only the ban on the Camille, not the Jace.
You think we'll still see Ornn very popular after the pretty severe nerf? He's going to get out of here. He's totally fine. He's Ryze in this meta. Already got Zhonya's as well. You think we're going to see Ornn still after the heavy nerf to the cooldown?
So the nerf to the W Unstoppable is a pretty big one for laning phase.
Yeah.
I actually think we'll see him more in support. I don't think we'll see as much top lane Ornn. But I think for support, obviously the outplay is nice, but just how much he provides from support in terms of engage and also the items in a long meta, where games are on average going very long, I think he still will see a spot in support, but my first thought is probably not at top lane.
Yeah, would have to agree. You'll notice that Mata down in the bottom lane just went for cooldown reduction boots. Why not? He's basically just let's ult as many times as possible.
Hey,
right
he'll tank some turret shots as well.
Yeah, you know, he's probably got demolition. Yeah. Move on in there and do a bit of damage.
KT's map control has been pretty much 100%. I actually spy some aggressive wards on the enemy blue. That's the first time BBQ have been able to push up vision, is why not kill Ghost again?
He has his flash, but they decide just to knock him up. The shock blast is going to miss here. But Deft with the red buff. Tempt cannot stay in lane against Spawn anymore. I say Deft, I mean Tempt. Having a bit of trouble 1v1 right now.
Great map control from KT. I love how they are keeping their foot on the accelerator in a way that, you know, KSV were able to do in Game 3, that Kingzone have done twice in recent memory. This is, again, a style that we'd love to see more in Korea, but you need to be so on point, both in terms of your pick and ban, but also your early game strategy to get into a spot like this where everywhere KT goes, it's going to be a win.
It's a lot of damage onto Pawn, into the taunt, and he misses his flash, but it doesn't matter because he's Ryze. Looks like Score might get away as well.
Deft is really strong. Oh. He was doing 400 damage Mystic shots onto Trick. I see you face some rises in solo queue. You're working on some frustration here, Valdez.
Yeah, you know, I got to get it out when it's appropriate.
Look, at least it's a Zhonya's rise. At least he paid.
Yeah, he paid for it, you know. He deserves it, right?
I mean, no, but he paid for it.
True.
Was the information that on the PBE, they announced that for 8.3, the Zhonya's port, or the stopwatch port, both of those will be gone.
Okay.
But we've still got a few more weeks to enjoy of this.
It's nice for all the Ryze players. I made a tweet the other day where I was like, how much of Ryze's, you know, top tier potential in the meta currently is because he has a free escape with stopwatch and Zhonya's eventually? What do you think, Papa? You
For
didn't
solo
answer my
queue,
tweet.
I would say 95% because Ryze is not a good champion in solo queue. His ultimate gets almost no value because the amount of coordination without voice comms is unlikely. In pro play, you know, it's 50-50. We're going to watch the replay here as somehow Pawn didn't die. Thank you, Sonya's. The thing is, Ryze is a safe laner even without the ability to stopwatch ult, just because he builds in such a flexible way, tier into whatever you feel like when it comes to mana items. So he'll still be used, I think, at least a bit. But for solo queue, I think almost all of his power, his ult is almost an ability you shouldn't level, just because without the Zhonya's play, I think it really contributes almost nothing in pro play. Sorry, in solo queue play.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll see in the future. 8.3 will be rolling around eventually.
You can still play side lanes really well, so we'll see some of it as they're hunting crazy.
And they should be able to get him. In comes Ignar. Score trying to move forward. He gets that max range Cataclysm. A couple more auto attacks will do it, even with how tanky Crazy is right now, surprisingly. They do eventually take him out 3-on-2.
Score actually dropped the Cataclysm, stopped there being a multi-man stun against it. Smart from him. Not that it was going to matter in that case. Too low was the Gnar. They keep pushing up, going to get a little bit of damage onto the inhibitor turret here. They back away. He draws 3 people. Things going great for the side of KT Rolster.
Turns out that even in 8.1, if you get this far ahead this fast, with that big of an advantage up in the top lane, and even in the bot lane, you can snowball it quite easily.
They couldn't afford to have bot lane give up a kill early while top lane was a counter matchup, Valdez. That was the really big problem for the side of BBQ.
Drake's gonna try to make something out of this.
He thinks better of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even with the extra slow, with the isolation.
5 members of KT here, so BBQ cannot engage any longer.
The entire jungle is KT's. The red side jungle for now. Trick trying to take some back.
Not really sure about the Black Cleaver rush from Crazy. I feel like when you're in this spot, you kind of piece together a Frozen Mallet and a Warden's Mail, and you make the best of it. Because at least with Frozen Mallet, theoretically, a jungler can gap close and kill the Jace. With Black Cleaver, you're so squishy that you're never going to be able to chase down the Jace. You lose every type of 1v1. We're going to see the replay. Crazy thought it was going to be a 1v1, and very quickly it wasn't.
Ornn from downtown in the mid lane, ulting on in.
And meanwhile, this was Pawn finding Trick and getting out. So he's 1v2ing pretty happily up there.
The only way you can punish this, obviously, is if you have enough CC to 100-0 him so that he can't Realm Warp with the Zhonyas. We saw that a bit in the former series, where SKT were able to 100-0 BDD one time when he was playing Rise. Sejuani and Malzahar before he picked up QSS.
I must admit, the only reason why I get a bit wistful and smile a bit with the Zhonya's ports is it does remind me of all the Messiah plays way back when with the TF. But Rise, you know, right now he's so oppressive in competitive play that it does make sense. I think they'll have to find a new direction for him to make him viable in solo queue though, as it's going to be a free Cloud Drake. It's basically free everything. Free lunches, free BBQ chicken, free everything for KT Rolster.
Definitely. Free BBQ chicken.
I don't know if Pawn goes up to the BBQ people, whether they'll give him another bucket, though, after this game. They might be like, well, it's your birthday, but no. How many bad guys do you have to send to make Pawn angry? Turns out more than 3.
They would need Emperor's Divide, probably a taunt from Ignar. Trick probably has to be there, maybe a stun from Crazy. So maybe 4. 3 or 4.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah. They did the math on cast. Generally you don't want to, but sometimes you have to. Going for the second tier turret up in the top lane. It's the only one that's not an inhibitor turret that's left over.
KT continue to push up vision. All BBQ can do is put down control wards and play diagonally. Right now, if you do a diagonal line, they control basically as close as their inner turret and top side, and then diagonally to where the where Gnar is now. So that's no jungle camps, to be clear. That's the only thing they control.
They are going for the Shen right now. Don't quite have enough damage here, as Ignar just sheepishly walks away.
Free time for Gnar to fix the lane and bot side, so that will start to push out. Doesn't mean there's not going to be 3 lanes pushing. But KT know there hasn't been a ward around Baron for a while, so getting itchy trigger fingers, and now they're camping, waiting for a face check. None so far.
Yeah. So they're never going to take the 50-50. When you're this far ahead, it just doesn't make sense. TP's coming in. They're trying to bait it. But BBQ's doing a good job of saying, like, sure, take the Baron. Well, I say that, but then Trick gets caught. Big knockup from Ornn in the end. And nice little Cataclysm. They're going for another kill. Nice little hammer smash to the face. And Pawn, he wants more. It's his birthday. Looking for some more chicken on the backside of that turret. They take it out. Now they're going to go for Baron.
That was a really high-level play from KT, because you see the teleport, and obviously it's one that's going to be envisioned for the side of BBQ. Why are they doing it? Usually a teleport like that is for someone zoning for a Baron that's been started. Usually you teleport there to say, well, I'll interrupt someone from smite stealing. No, they were all baiting with it. That's why Trick started to walk up, because he's like, wait, maybe I need to get in there for the contest for the smite steal. Instead, it was just a giant ruse pulled by KT Rolster. So really creative stuff for them if you really consider the whys and whats. Gets them the Baron, gets them kills, and cements a 10,000 gold lead at 27 minutes.
These are the types of games I like to cast. Very easy, not a lot of downtime. We're taking a look at Ornn. That is 35% cooldown reduction already. You see it on the right side. So what he's been aiming for, he's almost at 45%. He'll get there eventually.
He doesn't have sorcery, so he doesn't have the ultimate hat. You have to think about what was happening with the teleport. That's why Trick didn't just fully disengage, because he made the read that he had to stop pushing forward. He pushed forward too far. Pawn is a tank at this point in the game. He has nothing to worry about. He had Zonians if he needed it. They take the turret, they take the Baron, and they're ready to end the game.
They're looking for it, going for bottom lane now with the Baron buff. So far it's only Smeb and Deft here, but you see a couple more members in the jungle making their way over. That's the poke I was talking about. Trick lost almost all of his life. And he's just gonna have to go back into the base. Looks like they're gonna be pushing 3 lanes this time. Send 3 people down in bot, score in the mid lane, and pawn up in the top side.
Now drawing a couple of members top side. That's not good. Rice can always get away. Take down the first inhibitor of the game at 29 minutes. Good time there by KT. Not King Zone, but close enough. Mata's just zoning with ultimates.
Yeah, he's like, we're not going for it, but I'm just going to ult you anyway.
He's getting his eye in, Valdez.
Oh, Smeb already has a QSS. Well, Chain of Corruption isn't going to keep him in place then. Now going for the second inhibitor here. BBQ tails between their legs. And inhibitor 2 goes down. Tower number 3 up in the top side. This might be one of the most one-sided games we've seen here in LCK.
Anyone else ready to watch KT versus King Zone?
I am. Sign me up, Papa.
That was
Get me a ticket.
That was the Kesper Cup final. Could potentially be a final some sort here in 2018. Both teams capable of games like this.
Looks like Pawn is going for a death cap, because why not?
He's got it.
There it is, right as I say it.
There's nothing better than wearing a sweet hat on your birthday.
Yeah, where's your birthday cap, Papa?
I don't have a birthday hat, but Twitch chat found one for me. Feels birthday, man.
Feels very birthday, man.
Well, the birthday buff for me, the birthday buff for Pawn, who kind of just been running around, ulting and doing silly stuff.
It definitely feels that way, right? They're kind of just like, you know, skipping around the rift. Basically have total control, doing whatever the hell they want.
Valdez, you missed the times of EDG Pawn and EDG Deft, where Pawn's job was really to distract. He would go mid lane, he'd feed sometimes. It didn't matter as long as Deft was hitting his farm, and Deft would do the hard carry. The things I saw from Pawn in China were unbelievable in 2015 spring.
Yeah.
I saw him just walk up to a Twist of Fate, as a Twist of Fate to cast it in melee range and just die. But it didn't matter. He was buying time for Deft. And those good friends are still together. Samsung brothers from different lineups. They start to push in, and we're just ready to crown KT winners of game 1.
That we are. I think BBQ kind of accepted the fact that they're either going to have to play Phalanx style right at the 2 Nexus turrets, or they would just move out and lose. So we are going to see their last resort, their last stand. But it's double super minions in every lane, and they're going to go for Smeb here, but he gets away so easily. The Ornn ultimate gets 3 into the Cataclysm. Pawn and Deft still full health, along with everybody else on KT. And really, they're just buying time. It was the last-ditch effort for BBQ, trying to get one final team fight for them. And they're going to flash forward. They want some more kills. They want to up their KDA. They get one in the form of Thames, but now they're just going to go for the Nexus. Game number 1, an easy one for KT Rolster.
And there's your mistake, Valdez. You say they're in there for the Phalanx, they're in there for the turtle. You can't turtle if you don't have a shell. It's too early in the game. They've got no items to turtle up. The Azir threat is not there. Even with their best shot, they couldn't get the overheals off of the members of